Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would do more of a week in the life video. So let's get started. It is Monday, September 8th, and I am at my K-3 building. And the first thing I do when I get to school and put my lunch bag down is I kind of go through a little checklist of checking my email, updating my planner, and resetting any slides that I've had from, last week. Like if there's things that need to be updated. The planner that I use as I go through my book bag over here is actually an Archer and Olive TN. It's a blank notebook, which I find beneficial because then I can really just make it do what it needs to do. So last week we had an unexpected drill. So that always kind of throws a wrench into where certain classes are in the lesson. So that's what I'm going to be taking note of today. So, and you'll see this is my calendar. And then last week's to-do list, got a lot of it done. I do need to work on my safety videos too. Like they're due by the end of the month and I gotta make sure I get those done. So I'm gonna be filling this out and catching you in a little bit. Whew. I meant to get back to you still during Monday, but it is currently Tuesday afternoon. It is. It's Tuesday afternoon. Yesterday was just a busy day. The rest of the day, it went fine, but it was just busy. Probably the biggest thing from yesterday was the fact that because that building's under construction, the staff bathrooms that are closest to my room, I had the water shut off because they were doing the water lines back and forth. So everything else was working. So I just had to find a different one. But it's hard when you only have 5 minutes in between a class to get to the bathroom and back in time. So that made for an interesting day. Luckily, they were originally saying it was supposed to last 2 days. It only lasted not even the whole day yesterday. Like by the time right before dismissal, they were all good to go. So that's good. So that made for an interesting Monday. Today, lots of good things happen. I should show you, I'm at my 4th and 5th grade building, and the star jar is almost filled up for them. So let me turn I don't know if I can turn you around now that I have it in this mode. So there you go, star jar, almost filled up. We're getting there. You'll see I added some R's and L's because we've been doing some line dancing. And one thing I've learned is that when you line dance, whenever they turn, to recalibrate the right and left is really hard. So I started putting L's and R's around the room. It also helps when we're doing recorder because a lot of them will forget to put their left hand on top. So there's always that little bit of a reminder of lefts and rights. Other than that, it was a really good day. They had some, how do I want to say this? We had some breakthroughs on certain songs, so that's always good. Next week, we actually officially start recorder. Oh, that's something I have to tell you about. Hang on. Let me see if I can switch you around to show you one of the challenges we did today. So my 5th graders have been really good at tonal awareness. So I thought I would give them a little bit of a challenge before we started back on recorders. And the challenge I gave them had to be with xylophones and can you figure it out? So these were their instructions. Choose a partner, retrieve a xylophone. I'll pass out the instruction cards. When you complete the instructions, come up to Miss Essentially and show her to receive your next challenge. So I gave them note cards. So like Old MacDonald says, it starts on G. It uses 2 new notes because they all know B, A, and G. And E-I-E-I-O is B, B, A, A, G. Can you figure out the song? I learned over the 4 classes that I did this with. First class, I thought my instructions were great. Have you ever been in that situation? And then you find out they are not great. They really had a hard time with this activity. So then the second class, I gave them a little bit more guidance. And they still really struggled with the instructions. Like, it starts on G, it ends on G, it only uses 3 notes. 2 notes are G and A, the other is new. Can you figure it out? They really struggled with the new note part of things. They kept wanting to go back to B, and I was like, well, does that sound like the song? So today, I changed it up, and no, don't do the timer. I don't need the timer. I gave them an example using a song they love, and we're going to talk about this song more in another video called Grizzly Bear. And it goes, grizzly bear is sleeping in a cave. So I said, okay, Mrs. Hinchley's going to do this challenge first. It starts on G, it ends on G, and it uses these notes. So then I showed them how I would go about it. And I made purposeful mistakes at first, but it's not like a song I really play on the xylophone anyway. So I wasn't like super prepared to do it. So they got some practice at hearing how I made a mistake and what did I do. So today, when I did it that way and I gave them the example of how to work through it, then they were like, oh, okay. And I don't think it's because they don't know how to work through it. I think it was just, it's been a while since we've done it, that they needed a refresher. So we got more done today with it, which was good, because I still think it's a great challenge. Eventually, what I put stars on there because I thought they would just blow through these. They did not. I clearly did not have the correct expectations, but that's something as a teacher that just happens, right? Like, you think it's going to go one way and it goes another, and so then you have to adjust. So that was part of my Tuesday. It was a fun activity. Thursday, we are back to recorders with 5th grade, so that's going to be fun. Lots of review and good times there. I will hopefully catch you tomorrow on Wednesday. It is Wednesday. I am exhausted today. It is just one of those days where you're going, how can I be so tired? But that's where we're at, so that's okay. We're gonna make it work. I realized I need to go through my slides. I actually did this on Monday, but I didn't bring it up yet in yesterday's clip, that I will have my first substitute of the year next Monday, so this upcoming one. And one of the things that I typically have the subs do, because they're not me, is they use the music books. Well, 2nd grade this is the first year they get to use a music book. So I was like, ooh, I need to show them the procedures and how to do that. So I'm readjusting my lessons for this week so that I can make sure I hit that with all of my 2nd and 3rd grade. 3rd grade should know how to do it, but it's been, a whole summer. So I want to double check doing that. The other thing I want to work on today, or I'm going to try and get done today, is my new Ask Me sheets. And let me show you what that's all about. So we have Canva for educators at my district, and we're also using a new app called Parent Square. I don't know if you have it, but it's like a communication app. You can post updates. So it's really nice. You can also just message the parents that way too. And as I'm sure most school districts are trying to figure out some different budgetary things, we're trying to really keep an eye on how many copies we are making. So instead of me making copies of all of my solo certificates and things like that, this year I am just going to do Ask Me sheets. And once I've heard everyone do one of our songs, I'm going to send this out to parents. So this is one of my kindergarten ones. It says, Ask Me. We learned a new song in music class. Ask me to sing it for you and one other person. And then it gives them the words to the song. So I've already created, so I've got yellow because the music books or the music series, even though I don't use the music series very often with kindergarten, is yellow. I've just kind of kept, I'll move the glare for you guys there, sorry. I've just kind of kept that. And the background was already, this was a certificate already in Canva with the music notes, so it's really cute. So I've got their first song and their second song, Pitter Patter, already done, and then first grade I have Peep Squirrel and In the Evening Moonlight already ready to go, which is awesome. So when we get to the end, like where most of the students have sung it, I do have them sing solos for me. They don't have to, because any response is the correct response, even if it's no response. I still will send this out to all of the parents, because then they will get an idea of what is going on. And since I showed you the star jar at the other building, let's look at what it looks like over here. Now I have way more classes over here as I lean back. So we are almost full. I think I have 6 stars left to put in there. So they are very, very excited. All right, it's the end of the day on Wednesday. It was a long day. One of the things that I have to remind myself as I am going about my checklist in the morning and in the afternoon is that I pick up everything every day. So I need to make sure I take everything out that I need on the day, in the mornings. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I'm not here, the gym teacher has 2 classes, I think, in here. That she has a couple, because they're having lunch in the gym, because the cafeteria is under construction, because they're making it bigger. It's going to be amazing when it's done. And then one of the speech teachers uses my room on the days I'm not here. And then I realize my brain is still attuned to the fact that I can just leave my stuff out, or that I did leave my stuff out, but I didn't. And then I start a class and I'm like, oh, my guitar's in the closet. Oh, this is over here. So yeah, it's a learning curve for sure. But I am making good on one of my goals for the year, which is to make sure that I really don't leave any piles at either of my buildings. So I'll readjust so that I can continue to talk with you while I am adjusting. You gonna be good there? Oh, tripod, me and you have words. Let's reset. Maybe. All right, that'll have to do. So we keep working on the process. And I feel like it's that way every year at the beginning of the year. It's just a process. But other than that, it was a good Wednesday. I had lots of good solo singers today, which is always fun. So yeah, we're working still on some scheduling things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else exciting. Star Jar is almost filled up. It will probably be filled up by the time we get to the end of the day on Friday. So next week will be game day, which my Monday kids will be disappointed at first because I'm not there on Monday and I don't let the sub do game day. But I'll let them know, hey, we'll have game day the following Monday. Is there anything else? No, I think that's it for today. So hopefully I will see you tomorrow for Thursday. Happy Thursday. Today is the first day of starting back with recorders. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I just got done uploading the first 2 songs we're going to be working on. Now today, I don't expect to get to both songs. I do expect to get through the first one because it's all review of B, A, and G with a song they know, but they didn't play on the recorder last year. So I like to use that as kind of the review. Like, hey, it's the notes you know with a new song. And there is a YouTube channel that I absolutely love called Visual Music Makers, I think. Oh, Visual Music Minds. I'll show it to you. And if I'm able to tag them, I will do so. Let me visit the channel real quick and then I will turn you around so you can see it. So this, they have lots of different videos that you can use, some Orff based, some that are just rhythms. I like that they have meter things. It's always a really good one. I love using their recorder songs. If I go here, you'll see a playlist. So like if you are a recorder karate person, they have a lot of the recorder karate stuff in here, plus some extras. So the one that we're using for review is a song called Sailor Sailor. And we've played the game. We've done this now for most of last year. They know the song really well. So we're gonna do the warm-up. We're gonna try and play the song. And here are the steps that I use for recorders. I post this for the kids every year, and I still have kids who, you know, they all want to skip things, and then they come up and test, and then they wonder why they didn't pass the first time. I'm like, well, did you do this? Did you do that? And usually the answer is no. I ask them to say the letter names, to say the letters and place their fingers, and then to play and to repeat. And a lot of times I'll put a timer on the board saying you need to do this process for 5 minutes, okay? Because do I have kids who don't need the entire 5 minutes to complete this process multiple times and know the song? Of course I do. But they're gonna get to a song where it is much harder, and they need to figure out how they're going to practice these things. So it's really important to practice practicing. Eventually I would like to get to the point, here, I'll turn you back around. Eventually, I would like to get to the point, and with my 5th grade group, we're almost there, where we're learning not just the letter names, but the solfege syllables as well for melody. And we, like I said, they can do mi, re's, and do's. They're really good at those. Now we're working on adding so, because, like I said, I do the conversational solfege curriculum. So we want to make sure that we get that part done. So we're kind of working on 2 different things at once. I still like using letter names. I know that it's just, I guess there's that part of me, and I'm sure it's the paper trained part of me, the music paper training that I have. I just know what they're going to get to in middle school, and the ones who choose to join band or choose even to join choir, I already know what those teachers are going to expect, so I don't want them to have zero clue of what to do. So I'm balancing how I want to do it and what I think is the absolute best way with what I know they're going to encounter in middle school. So finding that balance, because both are good. It's just one of those, like, finding balance between the two. And I hope that makes sense. So there you go. That's what I have going on today. Happy Friday. I felt like it was Friday 2 days ago. Do you ever have those weeks? Like, I really thought last week, which was like the week back after Labor Day, would have felt longer, and it went really fast. So, like, I guess we had to make it up. I'm currently logging in to check my email, and it's going to be game day today. So the kids are going to be super excited. So it'll be a very fun Friday. But I also have to get ready for a sub. So I want to show you real quick, because I'm not sure, I can't remember if I've shown this before. Probably haven't too much, at least. My sub binder. So let's take a look. So I got this template itself from Pocketful of Primary, and she actually suggested, she has, I really do love it. I will flip through certain things, but some things have like specific information on it. But she had like these clear protector sheets that have tabs on them. So that's what the general info, the seating charts, the lesson plans. I can go to the lesson plans. So here's how I have my lesson plan set up. I have my lessons in my binder so that I'm never, mostly because I had food poisoning twice last year. And that was the first year I started having pre-made lessons for whenever the sub was in here. So I found it was a game changer, and I really was like, okay, we need to build this up so that I never have to worry about what plans to make. I can just say do lesson 1, lesson 2, and they're all in here. And I have the CD in here. So sub CD 1, it tells you the materials up here. I put the lessons on the edges. It has been a game changer, an absolute game changer. Sub CD 2, and then I'll show you where I keep all of my other sub stuff. this, I was a teacher on a cart for a while. So this is my cart, but it's now become my sub location. So I have some extra books here. I do have some worksheets and stuff. I don't use them as much anymore, but they're there just in case. This is the box that the CD player is in, and I actually have it set up, although I might rework how I do that. And then on the bottom, I have the big books for kindergarten and first grade, so that all of their materials will be on this cart. It's easier to find, so life is pretty good there. And then they use the music books, which are located over here. Very simple, very easy. So yes, I am all ready for my first sub of the year. And I think that's going to do it for this week. I hope you enjoyed my first vlog. I know it's a little weird the first time you're trying to do something, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had a joyful week, and I will catch you all in the next one.